Hi guys, welcome back to another session where we'll be looking at the strip chart or map. I've been running this series on strip chart, guys. We are on question number 6 right now, so make sure that guys you check the previous questions that we have covered, so that you can also get the different types of questions and what to expect on this kind of maps. And guys, without wasting time, I just want to notify you. This question is going to be split into 3 pieces because it's very long, and when I look at it, it is very broad, and it will require you, or it will require us to look at it in different ways and to solve this question in different ways, so that we can cover different opinions or different ideas on how to solve this question. So it's very long. So to get into it without wasting time, I'm going to cover just 2 questions, and then I'm going to show you the next question, and then that I'll be covering on the next session. So just be patient so that we can try to explain different contexts of this question. So now let's get into it without wasting time. And this is question 6. Question 6, it says the strip chart map it shows the distance from Cape Town to Port Elizabeth. Bilenhle will be driving from Cape Town to Bedford West. He drives a Mercedes-Benz C63 AMG with a 70-liter fuel tank capacity and fuel consumption of 10.3 liters. That L stands for liters, and then per 100 kilometer. So now these are the spec of the car, of this Mercedes-Benz. So they are describing going number 1. This is a strip chart that starts from Cape Town to Port Elizabeth. So I'm just going to show you in the full map here. So as you can see on the other side, so this is Cape Town. This is Cape Town. I'm gonna highlight it there. So we have Cape Town here at the bottom. So it shows the distance from Cape Town to Port Elizabeth. Port Elizabeth is somewhere at the top, so you can all see it there. And now they are saying Bilenhle will drive. Bilenhle will be driving from Cape Town to Bedford West. So he'll be starting here at the bottom at Cape Town, and then he will end up somewhere here at Bedford West. So that's where he will be going. And now, so I'm not going to be explaining more on this. So, but you already know that the distance on this side, it indicates the distance from Port Elizabeth to Cape Town, and the distance on the right is the distance from Cape Town to Port Elizabeth. This is a distance, so they are the same, but they differ with how you look at it. With the starting point. If you're starting from Cape Town, you'll be using this side. If you're starting from Port Elizabeth, you'll be starting on the left-hand side here. There's a distance here on this side. So that's where the distance it's been indicated. Now let's get into it without wasting time, guys. Now this is use the strip chart above to answer the following questions. Now this is 6.1. Describe the route including the distance. Will follow. So the most important part here is to describe the route. You need to describe the route. That is very key. And also they are saying that as we describe the route, the important part also, you need to also indicate what the distance that Impilent will follow. So in this question, guys, it's very tricky, this question, because when I analyze this map, I discovered that there's 2 routes that one can use. And I've discovered that if you are starting from Cape Town, as they are saying that Mpilenhle will be driving from Cape Town to Bedford West. So that's the position. These are two towns that you will be traveling from Cape Town to Bedford West. So now, as I was looking at this map, I discovered that there's 2 routes that actually one can use. So now you need to describe the one that maybe you identify as a student here, and make sure that when you describe it, you make sure that you indicate the distance. So the first route that I've discovered here, it was from here in Cape Town. As we can see, this is Cape Town here. This is the route from Cape Town. So from Cape Town, and then you have a route from Cape Town to Bedford West via N1. So you have this is the first route that I've discovered. Therefore, that means you can via this route here. I'm going to highlight it here on the side. This is N1. So this is the route that you'll be using, N1. And from there, and then from here, and then you go up like this red line, follow it. Then you come this way, then you go up. That is the first route that I've discovered. So this route that I've called this one is route number 1. So now, if you happen that you notice this route, and then you want, and then you it's the route that you prefer, that implicitly then he might use, or you want to describe this route. So now I've already prepared some question, because in most cases they maybe want you to describe the route in point form. So I've already prepared some answers that you may follow, and maybe cover up some of the important points that you can describe the first route. So the route from Cape Town to Bedford West is via N1. Therefore, I said here, you can say from the first point, you can say from Cape Town, you have to travel from Cape Town to Forster, then to Forster, and then this is the route that he can follow. And from here, from Cape Town to this point, he will drive 97 kilometers, and then when he drives there, he will pass through what? He will pass through what? Pearl. So now, where does this 97 come from? It comes from, if you add the distance from Cape Town to Pearl, because that's where it's going to pass, and then from Pearl to Forster, and then it's 46. So if you add the two, therefore you get a total of 97. That is why that's the first route. So the first route, and then I've highlighted it. Okay, you will drive this part. He will drive 97 kilometers, adding the two distances there, and then from there, from Forster, and then he will take R60. This is the route from here, from Forster. He will take R60, and then let me just put it into it. So from here, Forster, you will take this route, and then you'll go up. Let me just make it thicker. Yeah. Then from here, he will drive here. He will come up here, and then from here, what I've noticed, when he gets to this site from Forster to Montango, therefore, if you check the route there, it's R60, but it changes after this point, after this city. Now the route is no longer R60, so it changes to R62. That is why I've separated these two segment. And I said from Forster to Montango, you take R60, and then the distance, and then you will be heading north because of this direction here. So this is north, our north is up there. So now this will be heading north, and then for how many kilometers? For 79 kilometers. So where did I get 79? So I said you need to add the distance from here, from Forster to Robertson is 50 kilometers, and then from Robertson to Montango is 29 kilometers. So if you add these two, therefore you'll see that that's where I get to 79 kilometers. So that's how I've highlighted the first point there. So that is the second point. That is the second point, therefore. Good. So now, and from here, from Montango, then to Ladysmith, not really to Ladysmith, but he will be passing from Ladysmith. Then you have R62 going up, R62 going up. Then from here, this is the route. It's the same route. So it's the same route. Is R62 going up to this point here. If we get to this point, and then we have this city here. So the distance between the two between the two towns, it is a distance of 244. Where do I get that? I get it from this 146, and then to Ladysmith, and then to Ladysmith. Then from Ladysmith we have these towns here. From Ladysmith we have these towns here, which is 45, and then it's another distance, and then from there you have also another 53 there. So the distance you add all this distance, therefore it will give us a total of how much? Of 244. So that's how and this route is still the same route as R62, therefore. So from there he will continue along R62, and then for 244 kilometers. Then when he gets to this town here, and then he will now take, or he will join N12. Then from N12, this route will go straight there to top to N12, and then to N12 1 here. There's no corner here, guys. It's just a straight route. It goes straight to Bedford West. From this town, therefore, he will travel this town here. He will go straight to Bedford West, and then that's when he will join N12 and then drive for 187 kilometers. And then after that, therefore, he will have reached his destination. So that is the first route. And then that's how I've identified the first route. But there's also another route, as we can see there. There's another route that you can also use, which is from Cape Town and taking straight to N2. N2, this would be the route. I hope you can see there. This would be the route, and then straight to George. And let me find another color that maybe is darker a little bit. Let me take this one. Okay, let me try to raise the first column here. So this, you can take Cape Town straight to George, and then yeah, you can follow this direction, going straight there. Going straight to George, and then from George, therefore, you will join this site. And then from George, you'll go on this side. And then when you join here, this is N12 already, you can go up straight there to the top. So now, that is route number 2. So route number 2 is how you can describe it, from Cape Town to Bedford West via N2. So first you can say from Cape Town, and then you will head north from from Cape Town to George, and then this is the from Cape Town to George, and then the distance there from 0 up to George, therefore you can say is 458, and then now from there, and then when you get to George, you turn west. So you turn west. This is the direction you get. Therefore, you turn west. You get this direction here. This is the west from George. It's a direction from there. You take that direction, and then you try to get into west. And then when you get to west, therefore, this is N12. As you can see, this is the same route. Then this would be N12 route, and then you take N12 there, and then yeah. So and then you turn west. Then you'll be traveling now with N12. Then from Georgia to this town here, which I've already mentioned it. This is a town here that we've mentioned it. So the distance there, it's about 67 kilometers. And when you get to this town, then you know already it is the same distance as the previous question, or the previous point here. So this distance here is the same point. It's the same as this one. You head north, and then on N12 from this town, therefore, to Bedford West, and then it's the same distance. Therefore, then by doing so, you would have now answered the whole questions. Therefore, you would have reached the conclusion. So, therefore, this question, therefore, will be around 4 marks to 3 marks, depending on the points that you have highlighted. But check the points that are given there. If the marks is 4 marks, maybe 4 points that will be awarded. Then, if it's 3 marks, maybe 3 points that will be enough to cover. But make sure that you cover the most important parts. Therefore, so this is how I've answered this question. So now the next question, now it says here, calculate the distance, the total distance in 6.1 above. So now we have 2 routes, as I've already said. There are 2 routes. So now how do you calculate the total distance here? So it's very important that you will note that if you are one of the students that use route number 1, so it's still okay. So we're gonna consider also that route, therefore. So now what will be the total distance? Now I'm gonna write it here. So we're gonna say for route 1, so the total distance, what would be the total distance for route 1, therefore? Because I said this question has many phases, so you can't just answer it directly, because there's many views, opinion about this map. So now, so the total distance, now you're going to add all the distance. Remember, in this question, it says you must indicate the distances. So you're going to add all the distances that you have mentioned above there. So now you're going to say 97 kilometer plus, and then we have here 79 kilometer, and you'll also have 244 kilometer, and then the last one that you're going to add, therefore, is going to be 107 kilometer. So now you get a total of how much, therefore, if you add all those distances, therefore, you'll get a distance of 607 kilometers for route number 1. So now moving along, therefore, if there was someone that chose, route number 2, someone opted to say, now route number 2, it was the easiest one. So it's fine. Let's find the kilometers there. So the kilometers, the first kilometers there is going to be 458 kilometers plus 67 kilometers plus 187 kilometers, and then